We be fussing, we be screaming, but you the one I wanna lay beside this evening. I'm gonna come back even when I'm leaving. You give good love and I receive it. When you feeling down, I'ma sing to you. That ring on your finger got a ring to it. That's that real love, God-fearing love. It may not be how we dreamed it, but it's still love. Can we ever sit down? Talk to me nice, I'ma talk back, baby. You know how we get down. Yeah, the way we gon' work it out.
I am Pastor Julius, and this is my lovely wife.
City News.
What's good, everybody?
You wasn't living in Columbus.
I'm just going to totally ignore what she did.
It's kind of like a countdown for the news.
Oh, is that what it is?
Like breaking news.
Okay, what we breaking? What news we breaking? Make marriage great again? Mm-hmm. Huh? Y'all, welcome to another one. Another. We're getting ready to have some fun today. Another.
I just want to go on the record and say this for all of my married people. If you are in a bad mood, just have sex.
No, wait now. Wait a second. Wait a second.
Sex makes your mood. It is scientifically proven.
Is it?
Yep. That it releases endorphins and what is that one they call the feel-good drug? Dopamine.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. It releases dopamine. And
really,
it burns up to 500 calories a session.
So you can kill a lot of birds with one stone.
All of them. With
a session. You can burn some, you can work out.
Uh-huh.
You can release some special chemicals that make you feel good.
Uh-huh.
Which will in turn help you get along better.
Uh-huh.
Is that toxic?
Is sex toxic?
Because, no. Well, so here's
what
I'm saying.
I'm talking to my married folks. See, now this is what happened to them singles.
What?
What you talking about right there?
Yeah.
Them singles get into that you get into the triangle defense.
Yeah, you get into it.
Uh-huh.
And then you just want to have sex, make up sex just to make everything all right.
Well, because it's a triangle defense. You got endorphins being released. I feel good. Now I want to be around you more. And I done burnt me 1,000 calories.
But here's the kicker, though. You're not changing.
Dang.
So for the moment, it seemed like it worked. But ain't nobody changing nothing. And so then it's going to work for a couple days. And then afterwards, when you didn't change, you can be back mad again.
Well, then you could say the same thing then for married people. Because I know married folks who do that. And ain't nothing changing. You just have great sex. A lot of people have this good sexual chemistry.
Yeah.
And so because they have good sexual chemistry, they can be mad and everything, but sex is amazing. So ain't nobody changing though. 2 days later, you be back cussing and fussing.
Back mad. So
back boning again. Maybe that's why people be having so many kids.
So I think that's good. That's good, y'all. I'm glad y'all tuned in. So that's good. I think what it does is it helps us really segue into something that I think is important. While I do believe sex is crazy important in a marriage, like I think it is.
It's absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It ain't important. It's necessary.
It's super necessary. I do think that there needs to be, if that's the only thing that's binding you two together, then I think you're in a very dangerous position.
I mean, yeah, but I was speaking more from the seat of, because it's something I had to know about myself. I had a terrible attitude, and I was like, oh, it's because we need to have sex.
Yeah.
That's a true statement. Like, you get so busy in life. We're so busy with church and business and kids. Sex is not on your mind and how it was when we were, before our kids came.
And I can attest to that too, because next thing I know, I had coffee and oatmeal.
Shut up.
I had coffee and oatmeal.
It's the truth though.
It is true.
Because my mind is clear. I'm like, oh, life ain't as bad as I thought it was.
It ain't as bad. It ain't as bad. It seems horrible though. But y'all, I think one of the things we want to talk about today, just for a little bit, is some stuff that you can do to help, I think, forge a love that's going to help your relationship endure.
Because that's all we're here for is endurance. Because marriages are not enduring. They are They are falling
Yeah.
by the wayside.
And I think learning how to endure, I think, is tremendously key, just in the longevity of your relationships.
What is the definition of endurance? Like, what does enduring mean?
For me, it's kind of like perseverance and endurance are kind of like the same.
One and the same?
No, I'm not gonna say they're the same. They're kind of like the same. But for me, like, I think endurance is like
Let's ask Google.
in the midst of obstacles remaining. That's what I would say like endurance is.
So Google says it is the fact or power of enduring an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way.
That's what I said. In the midst of obstacles or resistance or whatever remaining.
The ability to continue
Yeah.
during difficult situations, experiences, or activities. Here's the kicker: over an extended period of time.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so
Is it Bible that says love endures all?
it does say that. It does say that. And so I think we need to learn how to endure,
That's good.
because a lot of the times we'll forsake endurance for feelings. So because I feel a certain way, it doesn't appear as if I need to endure.
Absolutely. That's the reason why we are faced with a divorce rate, and we talked about this either last episode or a couple episodes ago, was irreconcilable differences. It's a lot of it's emotion or feeling based and not endurance based. And because feelings and emotions, I don't want to continue because I feel some sort of way.
Yeah.
So a continuing's not even it's not even a factor.
So endurance isn't a factor. It's because it's about how you feel. It's about
feelings,
how you
boy.
feel, and then how you feel will literally start dictating your actions. One of the things I performed a wedding not too long ago, and one of the things that I think is that'll help in endurance is reverting back to the vows.
Yeah, you always say that.
That's one of the things that we don't do when it comes to, marriage and stuff, especially as you look at the divorce rate and you look at the people who are not remaining. Is the question becomes is, do the wedding vows govern your thought process?
No, because now I'm going to say this, and I know you're probably going to get mad at me, but the wedding vows are vague because for better or for worse, what is the definition of worse? Your definition of worse is me going out and cheating. You're like, oh yeah, that's it. That's the bottom of that.
I think you're making a great point here. So, y'all, when you think about the wedding vows, because I kind of agree, because it says for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer.
Yeah, like,
what
what
does
that
that mean?
mean?
What does richer mean? More money than I had before?
Or richer in spirit, or richer in...
So I think we're not doing our due diligence when we get into the marriage
And putting
to really
definitions
start
to
like
it.
putting details to
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? So what does better or for worse mean to you? Let's make sure we're on the same page as far as what better or for worse means.
And that should be covered in premarital counseling.
That should be covered in premarital counseling, is putting details to the marriage vows.
Yeah.
And then, so what does richer for poorer mean? Well, what does in sickness and in health mean? Because sickness could mean I can't do anything else. My ability to move is gone.
Sickness and health, that's the only one that my brain can comprehend, because I understand what both of those mean. I've been physically ill, so I've been flu sick, and I've been in the hospital, C-section down, and physically couldn't move. And you have people who it goes a step further where they're sick unto death. And we know that when your cousin passed away, her husband, everybody was commending her husband, saying, you did your job. You did what you were supposed to do.
completed the vow.
You completed the vow. And he
Yeah.
stayed with his wife
Yeah.
through cancer, through chemo, until she passed away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for me, that is the definition of that vow. Like, that one for me is easy. Sickness and health and death do us part. These other ones over here to the left, like for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, those two are where that divorce rate comes in high at.
Yeah.
Sickness and in health, it's a lady I follow on Facebook. Wonderful marriage to her husband of a lot of years. He passed away of a crazy brain situation. It was one in so many 100,000 chances. And she just recently buried him, and people were congratulating her on finishing the vow.
Yeah. Well, you think about for better or for worse, that right there is and the richer or for poor, when those ones are probably the cause of irreconcilable differences.
Absolutely.
Those two right there.
Because how do you, where is the absolute in those? Where is the black and white of they're very vague, because it could mean anything.
Yeah.
At any given time.
Yeah.
What used to be for better or for worse maybe 10 years ago is not the same now.
Because life has changed. We've evolved as a community. We've evolved
Facts.
as a society. What we used to rely upon back in the day, we don't rely upon anymore. When those vows were even developed, life was different. But now you're in a society to where, man, rich or for poor don't mean the same thing no more.
I went to this wedding, no lie. This lady took that out of her vow.
Wow.
She said for richer or for richer. She was not, she didn't even
You're doing the poor piece.
No.
No.
And everybody laughed, and she was looking around like, I'm not, she would not say that. She said for richer or for richer.
Oh, wow. So she's not even given an
No.
opportunity.
She's not even given
for
no life.
poorer to
No.
be to be anything.
No. She
Wow.
took it out of her vow.
Yeah, I think that's something that we should think about, is just really like putting definition to the marriage vows. But aside from that, is just really understanding what does it mean to endure, forging some endurance. We got to have some practical tips to what that means, because most times people just don't know.
For me, endurance is, you have to build up endurance. Endurance isn't something that you just naturally have. It is something that you work on. For example, running a marathon. You're not just going out here running 13.1 a half marathon. You're not doing it.
No.
You're building up your cardiovascular system. You're building up your endurance. Mile 1, mile 2, and it takes work. It takes months. It takes practice, practicing your breathing, practicing your running, buying a new pair of running shoes. All of this goes into what? So that I can endure into the end of the race.
And I think what makes a person willing to do all of the things that you said in order to endure the race is that the race becomes top priority.
Absolutely.
You see?
Absolutely.
So because the race is top priority, then you're willing to do all of that stuff that you said. Work on your breathing, work on building up your muscle endurance, working on building up your muscle memory, doing whatever you got to do in order to get yourself to a point to where when the race comes, you can endure it. And so I think like the first thing here is amazing that you said that is, y'all, you got to make your relationship the top priority. And what happens is we get married for economic reasons, for all types of other reasons in a lot of instances, not to be lonely and all of that.
Yeah.
And then it's like once you actually get married, the marriage is not the top priority anymore because you've got other things that are the top priority.
Well, we talked about that. We talked about when you get married and you lose yourself and now you want to find yourself and you're out here finding yourself because now it's about you.
Yeah. Finding yourself and losing your marriage all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like
happens all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of oxymoronic. And what happens is a lot of people are okay with that.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of the times why divorces happen.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because I lost myself in this marriage and it took for me having to be diligent in finding who I am. And now that I found who I am, I don't want that anymore. And so I'm willing to step away from that because I found who I am.
And this is why, though, that work is important prior to you getting married.
Individual work.
You need to be finding out who you are, what's your purpose, and all of those things prior to committing yourself to another person.
Yeah.
Because once you commit yourself to the other person, they are the priority. And if it's done right, it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
I'm your priority. You're my priority.
And so we're priority.
That's it.
Yeah. But if it's not like that, what'll happen is I'll start making myself priority and then I won't care to prioritize you. And so then I'm off here.
Yeah.
You're depleting, diminishing by the day, by the second.
Yeah.
And so then there's no reciprocation. So I think like we got to make sure, y'all, that we're intentional about building ourselves up. Take time. Because listen, the reality is there's no such thing as a bad marriage. There's no such things as toxic marriages.
Just bad people.
It's
and
bad
toxic
people and toxic people.
Bad decisions, toxic decisions.
That enter into marriage.
Yep.
Right? And
Yep.
so then that is where it gets all messed up at. And so I think that's it. You got to make the relationship top priority. Right?
You know how selfless you have to be for that, though?
No, tremendously.
And so what
selfless.
happens is that I'm okay. What you're saying is dope because it's legit separating the individual out of it. A lot of the times, for me myself, I have had to fight to separate you from the marriage.
Okay.
Even though I'm married to you, the marriage being top priority is above you. Meaning, if I'm mad at you, because if not, and you and the marriage are all intertwined, then that means when I'm pissy at you, I don't care about my marriage.
And you know why that's easy to do what you just said?
Why?
Is because a lot of the times we forget something tremendously important,
Which is?
which is this. In that marriage that I just performed, they were tying the knot,
The 3-chord strand.
the 3-corded strand.
Yep.
And a lot of the times we forget that we entered into a covenant with someone else outside of ourselves.
God the Father.
And that's God the Father.
Yeah.
And so if God the Father is not factored into that whole
If
situation,
he ain't weaved throughout that thing.
then it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to get off track.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you keep God the Father woven into the equation,
Yeah.
he's like the binding agent,
Binding agent, absolutely.
the glue to it. And so it's like, you know what? If I under normal circumstances,
Ooh.
you'd be in some serious trouble. You know what I'm saying? However, because I entered into this union with God the
Because
Father,
Yeshua is here.
because he's here, then that means our marriage has a chance.
That's right.
But when you take God out of it, your marriage don't seem like it gets a stand a chance.
Because it's all about that individual. And let me be clear when I say this. You be a fool to think that a human person has the ability or capability to make you anything.
So, wait a minute. Wait. That was too much.
I thought it was just enough.
No, it was too much. It was too much for me. And so basically what you're saying is you don't have the ability to make me happy.
No.
Or make me sad.
No.
Or make me mad.
No.
You gotta unpack that because
I am a participating agent, but I am not the cause. And what happens is that when you are not pulling from God himself for your strength, God for your joy, God for your peace, you putting all of that stuff on me, and nigga, I can't be my peace. I can't. I can't be your peace because sometimes I'm in pieces. And so if I'm in pieces, how in the world I'm gonna be your peace? I'm gonna nag you some days.
No, I'm gonna be your piece. Yeah, just a piece. Just a piece.
But you need the whole pie.
Right.
And I don't have the ability or capability of doing that. And people have these false hopes and expectations in marriages, which we can go back and talk about because they have unresolved issues, childhood trauma, all this other stuff that's buried. So now I say I do, and now it's kind of like when people get saved and they think now that they got saved that life ain't gonna life. That's not how this works. Just because you get married does not mean that you live this magical moment of bliss forever.
So I think you just uplifted something. You correlated getting saved and getting married.
Yeah.
That's crazy right there because they kind of like the same. Right?
It is.
Okay, and so basically what you're saying is if neither one of them fixes you.
No.
Oh, wait. So we're entering into both of those situations
Our marriages.
thinking that we're going to be fixed.
Yeah.
The answer to our problems is not marriage. That's not the answer to the problem.
No.
The answer to the problem is literally going in and utilizing who we are in order to help get ourselves to a place to where now the marriage is going to magnify who who we are, if that makes any sense.
What we have to do is, when we enter into a marriage, whether it be the marriage to Christ, we are the bride, he is the groom, or a marriage to your groom or your bride, is you allowing the binding agent, which is Christ in both of those things, to bind you and heal you and pull out of you the purpose for that person in that marriage or for your life when it comes to salvation. It's both and. We as individuals enter into this marriage, whether it's with a person or Christ, thinking that this is it. And then we don't want to take any accountability.
We don't want to work on ourselves.
We don't want to work.
We don't want to work on ourselves.
And so we enter in and say, okay, Lord, I'm married now.
So what about this then? I'm going to give you an example. You get into marriage and then you fall off. Physically, mentally, everything. And you think just, well, I'm married. I ain't got to.
No, that's not fair.
Take myself. I ain't
That's
got to
not
get myself
fair.
together.
And I'm telling you, we do the same thing when it comes to our salvation, when it comes to our experience with Christ.
Yeah.
We get saved and be like, cool, I said yes to Jesus. I ain't praying. I'm not doing no devotion. It's working out the same. Same thing as me. If I said, I ain't working out no more, he better be glad I had his 2 babies. No. You just gonna give up?
Yeah.
You said yes. And so now you get a pass to just do whatever you want to do.
So basically, one yes is not a license for you to start giving a whole bunch of no's.
No. When you say yes, it opens up the door
For you to
a
keep saying
continual yes.
Oh, that's good.
It's a
that's
continual,
good.
and you never stop saying yes. Yes, I'm going to be selfless. Yes, I'm going to give up duty booty. Yes, I'm going to make sure that he's not hungry. Yes, I'm going to make sure that I'm an excellent wife and mother, the best of my capabilities. Yes, I'm going to work on my childhood trauma. Yes, I'm going to go to therapy. Yes.
And watch the yes, though. Watch the yes, because what happens is by saying it like that, it almost makes it appear as if you have to then start saying yes to things that you shouldn't have to say yes to. But here's how you can switch to yes. Yes, I'm going to set up proper boundaries.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm going to properly analyze the situation and make the decision that's going to be best suited for the situation. Yes, I'm going to say no sometimes.
Absolutely.
When I need to say no.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And
It comes with it.
Yes. And so that yeah, it's still a yes, but you got to know what and when to say yes and what to say yes to.
I think when you say yes properly, when it comes into the context of a healthy marriage, those are byproducts of
Yeah.
it. The healthy boundaries and standards are byproducts of you being healthy in your yes. What happens is we are not healthy. We're not. And we enter into covenant with Jesus the Christ and with our spouses, both unhealthy. And when we enter into these situations unhealthy, we have unhealthy expectations.
Well, the thing is because when you add God into the equation, you add the Holy Spirit into the equation, it's like a magnifying glass. And so the Holy Spirit works for those who are willing to have themselves magnified and then who can take what they see and then start working on it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're not willing to take what the Holy Spirit is magnifying about you and do something about it, then the Holy Spirit is of no effect to you. The Holy Spirit is of no effect to you in marriage or anything. If the Holy Spirit is constantly showing you areas of opportunity and then you're consistently just ignoring it.
Oh no, you're not ignoring it. You get offended.
Well, then you start ignoring it.
Yep.
And so what happens is though we don't have the proper tools. Once the Holy Spirit starts showing us opportunities, we don't have the tools to work on what is being shown to us. And so a lot of the times we get insecure because I don't know how. I don't even know what to do with that. I don't even know where my next step should be, where my next move should be.
I kind of disagree with you. I think people be knowing. They be knowing.
In some instances.
They just don't want to. A lot of it, and you say this all the time, a lot of it is just stop.
Well, so yes, a lot of it is stop. But you think about it. I always say this even in ministry. We don't do a good job of teaching people the how-tos of ministry. So we'll go in guns ablaze and talk about do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And a lot of the times people are sitting there like, I don't even really know how to be a partner with the Holy Spirit in helping me be better in this area for real, because I'm so conditioned in the opposite that I need some sort of assistance.
But I mean, I don't give people a lot of credit. I'm telling y'all that right now. I'm very hard on people because as adults, we do what we want to do. We pursue what we want to pursue. And if you allow people, they will loathe
Find a way
and
to come up with an excuse.
They will find a way to live in, well, I ain't have no male role model around me and so they'll live.
That's a real thing.
But
babe.
they'll live in that.
But so you can't.
And so then it'll be all around them. Healthy men role models all around them. Healthy marriages all around them. And they will continue to ignore what you just said, all of the healthy Negroes around them, and stay here because this is just more comfortable for me.
See, like that right there, I think we gotta unpack that maybe another time because I think a lot of the times, man, people be in bondage to themselves.
At 100%.
And so it's almost like, for me, that's almost dangerous because it's like blaming the victim.
No, I'm not blaming a victim, but what I am saying, people do have victim mentalities.
Of course.
And so there's a very thin line of blaming the victim. For me, blaming the victim is a young woman gets raped and we blame her because she had a short skirt on. That's blaming, well, you shouldn't have had that short skirt on. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you have asked for examples. You've asked for things because you're saying where you keep letting us know where you are deficient at. You have all around you, though, not that deficiency.
Well, I don't know if we talked about letting us know where you're deficient at. It's like a young man growing up in a hostile, toxic environment. And truth be told, in those environments, you have some positive people. You have an uncle, a cousin, a neighbor, Mr. Johnny up the street, a teacher, a principal, a mentor. These people that were available, but at the same time, I'm still in a toxic environment and I end up in the penitentiary.
We're talking about marriage now.
I know, but I'm saying the same thing even in marriage. So you had these opportunities potentially to start making different decisions within marriage. But still, truth be told, my conditioning is still governing me. Not these one-off opportunities that I had to do something different. My conditioning is governing me.
Okay, and so then at what point... Because you have a lot of marriages right now where men and women both are doing whatever they want to do, all in the name of, I'm still 12.
Well,
And
I mean,
that was the whole R. Kelly thing.
Let me say this, y'all. If you know that you should be making better decisions and you're not, and then when you get caught or when stuff don't go your way, you're purposefully blaming the fact that you had, you didn't have no role models, but for real, you could have did better and all of that. You wrong. All right, let's just do that. That's not okay. You're wrong because that's manipulation. Then at that point, you're operating in manipulation, and that's not okay. And so, but if there are people who really are making bad choices based upon real stuff,
we all are products of our environment. I understand that part. Again, I just think. When it comes to marriage, man, as adults, you make the decision. I make the decision not to sell cocaine.
Y'all, that's it. We got to go.
I make the decision to sell cocaine because I don't want to go to jail.
David said that we had to wrap it up.
All right.
And I didn't make the decision to not sell cocaine. And I knew better. All right. And it was a conditioning
because you
thing.
were selling other things.
It was a
But anyway, we love y'all so much. Thank you for joining us. Remember, this is what y'all have to do. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Subscribe. Go to Facebook.
Yes. It's Make Marriage Great Again podcast on Facebook.
And
it's Make Marriage Great Again podcast on YouTube. And it's MMGA podcast on Instagram.
And share the videos and comment. And we want to hear from y'all and hear what y'all have to say.
And we're going to continue this one about helping forging endurance because we got a lot more to that.
Endure to the end.
Peace.
Peace.